Hey everybody, welcome to the Digital Moxie podcast. Just recapping my birthday week from August 8th, which would be the beginning of the week of August 5th. And for the beginning of the week, it was kind of uneventful. I had a job the week before I got laid off, and I was supposed to go right back to work, but they didn't. The work didn't come through, so we had to sit. Well, I had to sit, and they told me, "Hey, we're probably not gonna work this whole week." So I was fine with it. Okay, it's my birthday week. I get to spend it at home and do the things I want to do, and that's what I did. And it was kind of disappointing. Wednesday rolled around on the 8th, and I was all set up. I'm sorry. The 8th was Thursday. The 8th was Thursday. So that whole weekend went by. So I concentrated on yard work, my car, things of that nature. And when the actual birthday came around, I supposed to have spent time with a young lady for my birthday, and that just became like a fiasco. I mean, needless to say, that date didn't go too good, and the situation was dissolved. I no longer will be dealing with that person, and I mean, I'm gonna miss her, but sometimes in these relationships, you have to know when one is enough. And I had already been having problems with this person for already 8 months, and you know, I'm just a dude that looking for a good relationship, a good woman, and it's hard to find that. It's not easy. Relationships in the new millennium are a difficult thing. We're dealing with a lot of people who don't believe in loyalty, devotion, or maybe I'm dealing with those kind of people. Maybe those people do exist, and I haven't got, I wasn't haven't had the opportunity of finding that person. I don't go to bars to find people. You know, I work a lot, so I'm not on any dating apps, so maybe that contributes to my circumstance. And I'm a little older now. I'm in my mid 50s. I mean, that's not super old. That doesn't mean that you can't be in a relationship or find somebody new, but I'm not worrying about that stuff. When you start worrying about that, that's like it's like whack-a-mole. You can't catch it. You'll always be chasing it, and you'll never get what you want because you're just not connecting with the way you want to connect. So my concentration is to focus on myself. And my biggest concentration is working on Digital Moxie. I have not done a pod. I'm gonna start doing a weekly podcast, maybe once or twice a week. But my aim now is to be a lot more consistent. And in the last week, I downloaded quite a few videos, but then I noticed that I didn't get any traction. So I don't know if I hurt myself by putting in too many videos. I don't know if they were congruent enough for the algorithm to say, "Hey, this is a good video. Show these people, show that." Because I was growing, and then all of a sudden it just like stopped, which is fine, and I'm not frustrated by that. I mean, you're putting into work, you're putting into videos, you're doing the editing, and like I said, every video I make, I try to make it better. Every situation I'm involved in, this is on me. This is who I have to be, is a better version of myself every day. And okay, so the birthday didn't go that well. I ended up dissolving my situation with that individual, which I've known this person for a long time, and we just weren't pulling in the same direction. She wanted to pull in a different direction. I wanted more stability. I wanted more time. I wanted to be more with her. I just wanted her to be my main squeeze, and she chose to be a person who decided that being single, free, and footloose is what she wanted to be. And I said, "Hey, uh, I can't, I can't hang down with that. I can't have a woman that has other relationships other than me. It's not about ego. It's not about anything but other than the fact that, if that's your lady, that's your woman, she's got to respect you and she's got to stay within that parameter. Look, if I wanted to share a piece of ass, I'd go get a prostitute. But I don't do that. That's not within the realm of possibility for me. And the thing is that it's sad to know that when a person in their 50s, well, it's just a harsh reality. If that person doesn't want the same things as you, that's a rejection that you're experiencing. I'm being rejected. But I'm not, I'm rejected, but I'm not dejected because I know that I'm young enough and I have enough going for myself that I can meet a better person, a higher quality person. It's just the detachment is what's the hardest part of breaking off a relationship with somebody that you've known for many years. And I don't know if women in my age category, they've been through, they've been through the ringer. They're either been married twice, married once for 30 years, got divorced, and then they're trying to find their footing. They're trying to find themselves again. And the thing is that, in my opinion, having a good relationship, it's there's a time value to it. You have to invest in that, and if you're going down that path where you think you're building something and in reality you're not, you're just spinning your wheels. Yeah, you're having a good time. You're wasting your time. You're spending your time with that person, but both people are not pulling in the same. You're not going in the same direction. One person is gaslighting you. Another person is thinking something totally different, and that's where you get stuck in this situation. I know every relationship ain't perfect, and I know that there's a lot of people who look at relationships that are, that are. I mean, they have a different opinion on what a relationship should be. And this woman had a different idea of what a relationship with me is, and I couldn't subscribe to it. I says, I'm not doing that. I'm not sharing my affections with somebody that's sharing them with somebody else. I'm just not going to do that. If I can't be the focal point or the focus of you, and like you would be the focal point, focus point in my relationship, I expect the same thing. And I don't know, you always hear people say, well, one person loves another person more in a relationship. Well, that might be the case. But if that other person says, hey, that's just not going to cut it for me, it's okay if you don't love me as much as I love you, but you better love me enough. I better have enough love coming my way in order for me to feel like it's worth staying. I know these are one of those things that, you go through your life thinking like, oh my gosh, I wish I had a relationship. I wish I had somebody. I don't I don't really feel that way, but I start thinking like, I'm at a certain age, you would think that you would meet somebody who has similar hopes and dreams, or is on the same wavelength as you. And then the thing is, there's a sense of betrayal because you put your hope and trust in a certain person, and then you realize like they're just not the person, and you need to detach yourself. And that's hard, man. That's hard. I'm not dramatic. I don't, I get angry, sure, but I don't throw a tantrum. Hey, it is what it is, And this is when I can uh, brood and contemplate where my situation is. But guess what? I'm not going to brood and contemplate too much on it. I got other things to do, man, and I got to invest in myself. And the thing is that if that circumstance is helping me become a better creator in the YouTube realm, then I'll take it. I'll take it every time because this is 100% me. This is gonna Me being a creator on YouTube is 100% me, and I'm gonna get out of it what I put into it. And even then, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't get as much as you think you're gonna get. But the thing is that you're moving forward. Whether you see your numbers go higher or your retention rate or whatever, your video quality, your editing quality, you're still putting the time in, you're still polishing your act. So, that was part of what happened to me on my birthday. I literally tell you, look, thanks for ruining my birthday. And I said, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna waste my whole birthday week on a circumstance like that. I'm out of here, man. So I left. I was that was it. I left the relationship, and now so Thursday, I said, I'm gonna do something. No, so Friday, it would have been Friday the next day. So my birthday was just a lost day, you know. And I got some nice phone calls. I got some, people posting on Facebook, sending me, "Hey, happy birthday" messages. That always feels good. I think that when you're in your 50s and people take the time to say happy birthday and wish you well, that makes up for a lot of things. I don't need anything from anybody. I'm at the point in my life where just a friendly gesture is like, "Hey, how you doing? Hope you're doing good." Sometimes that's enough. It's distracting me. Wonder, yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah. So Friday comes around, go to the Cubs White Sox game, and I'm a Cub fan. I don't know if you know that by now by listening to Digital Moxie, but the Cubs played and they got a big run. I mean, we ended up going. I ended up getting real good seats. I paid like I go up to the ticket booth and Mr. Big Shot goes, I go, "Hey, give me your best price ticket. Give me your best tickets available." And he goes, "All right, $200 a ticket." I go, "Nah, man, that's too much, man." I mean, I'm thinking like 80 to 125 bucks is a decent price to pay for that game, especially since the White Sox don't draw. I mean, but when the Cubs show up, they usually have a good crowd. So I ended up spending about $300 for the tickets. Got great seats. We're right behind home plate, and we the Cubs they almost threw that game away. They've been playing better of late. They got a three. They're back 3 games in the wild card, and I'm really hoping that they can do something. I hope they can make a move, get into the playoffs. Anything goes. Sadly to say, they're not really a great team, but if they play above their level, then they're good enough. They can do something. They just got to get hot at the right moment. So yeah, that was just a fun game. I got home, and it was the fireworks were there. We got out of there as soon as possible. I live about 35 minutes away from guaranteed rate field, and I was home in a snap, and then we kind of hung out, and that was the end of the night. Saturday rolled around, and I kind of like just worked on my computer. I ordered a tablet from I ordered an Apple tablet, and right now I'm doing this video off my Apple, like Apple computer. So I get the iPad, and since I really haven't used my Apple computer, then I forget the passwords, and you make up these passwords and you forget them, and then you put them in. But I don't like you put in the password and you can't click to see your password. You just gotta make sure you spell it right, and then you click, and then it'll ding you like, "Oh, that's wrong." Okay, so you re-enter it. Boom, that's wrong. Now you put in the wrong one. First it was a misspell, and then you put it in, and it was still wrong because it was the wrong password. But and you thought it was because it was misspelled, and before I knew it, Apple had locked that iPad, and I was like livid. I go, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't no, I'm somewhat tech savvy, not all the way. I mean, when it comes to like to passwords, that's a pain in the ass because you got to remember stuff, and then when you're using your computer or you're on your phone, you're doing that shit on the fly, man. So you're not, so you literally got to have that paperwork in front of you, like, okay, this is my password for this. Like when you like I have a couple investment apps, like where my money goes, like from work and 401k and all that. And again, you got to go in that thing and you got to put in your password. Then you get this two-step verification. And I know it's done so you don't get robbed because there's a lot of stupid people out there. that they get fished. Oh, you're having a problem with payment processing. Send us your ID or send us your information, and then they get robbed. I mean, if you even use Zelle, you've seen that now they put a disclaimer on that, letting you know, like, you're sending money to people and you don't know where you're sending it, you can be scammed. And they basically do that because they don't want to return anybody's money at all. It's gone. You did it, it's gone. That's like something as simple. I mean, this when I was a kid, I mean, I don't even know if they still do it because I haven't tried it. You used to be able to go to Wendy's and you drink your pop, and before they never had the dispensers, the Coke dispensers out there. So you'd say, "Hey, can I get a refill?" And then they'd take your cup, they refill it, and give it to you. So you start getting programmed, and like here, some places they'll put a sign on those dispenser machines that you can't have free refills. So they've cut down on the free refills. So life's changing when there's no more free refills. For a 2-cent beverage that they charge you a dollar something because it's out of the soda fountain. So I went to a grocery store and I had a jug of tea and I dropped it. I never drop anything in a grocery store, and this time I did. And I was like, oh man, I dropped my Arizona tea. I guess that's a loss. But then the people like, oh, go get them another tea. I was like, oh wow, they still do that, because we live in such a society where they're just like they don't give you nothing anymore. There's no free breaks, especially with computers and apps. Like just like when I went to the baseball game, they don't take cash at Major League Baseball games. You better have your credit card. And you better hope your credit card works, because that's the only money you're gonna have in your pocket. And you swipe your card in, then it's the stare down like, yeah, how much of a tip do you want to give that person? And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna tip for you getting me my pop. That's your job. That's what you do. I mean, if I'm coming back and you're serving me, yeah, I'll give you a tip. At restaurants, I will leave a tip. I don't like restaurants that appropriate your tip. Like, hey, if well, sometimes they appropriate a tip if you have more than X amount of people in your group, which I understand. Yet that's kind of like standard. You got to pay, but I don't like it if they're gonna just add, or some places just add a tip to your food. It's like, no, you don't just add a tip to my food. Those are the places I got problems with. Like, is the price of the food what you're charging me, but now you're adding a tip? It's like that's like a surcharge, man. I'm not down with that. After the epidemic, a lot of restaurants went under. A lot of servers had a hard time because they weren't making the money that they were making, and now they implemented all this tipping stuff. And I understand people got to make a living off of their tips, and it ain't my like just like in Reservoir Dogs, it ain't my fault that the government tips waitresses on their tip. I mean, that tax waitresses on their tips. Like when Steve Buscemi was told to leave a dollar for the waitress, and then he had a whole spiel about tipping. I somewhat agree with Mr. Pink's philosophy in Reservoir Dogs when it comes to tipping. But the thing is, I don't feel bad. I no more because I'm not letting society pressure me into tipping somebody. Now it's like, what? Because it's like expected. Like, hold on here. That's not what I signed up for. If that's the case, let me bring my own beer in and I'll serve my own beer. You know, I mean, you buy a damn hot dog, they want you to give them a tip. Have you seen the price of the hot dogs at a baseball game? They're like 12 bucks. Yeah, now I seen it goes up to 20%. 20% of 10 is two. So they want 14. So you're like they want $2.40 to give you a hot dog. And usually there ain't no, hey man, they've made baseball such an expensive outing. I spent like 100. Let's see, my whole night I spent tickets $300, about $150 worth of food and drinks. You're looking at $300, $400 minimum if you're going to go to an event like that, and that's not cheap. Where you going? I'm gonna go make a car payment. Where? At the baseball game, at the concert. I just ain't down with that, you know? And you call me cheap, call me whatever you want, but I don't have a problem paying what I gotta pay. That's you're already gouging me. You're already overcharging me to begin with. But this is the society that we live in. If I don't like it, then I'm better off not going to any kind of function. Like even it's just out of control now. So, but I do go to a lot of rock concerts, and I do go to baseball games, and I'm gonna have to pay those surcharges one way or the other. So yeah, Cubs won, got home. Saturday, worked on the computer, did all my computer stuff, got on that Apple iPad, it locked me out, and I was spending the majority of the day. I got locked out. It says check back in a half hour. Check back. I put the wrong password in again. Check back in 1 hour. It's like, dude, now you're just adding time. Like before I knew it, I was like locked out for 3 hours. I said, what am I gonna do in the meantime? So I was watching television, chilling out, and the next day came around, and I ended up getting on a computer. That was the only thing I did for that Sunday. I was going to the Metallica concert that evening. So I said, I'm gonna spend my whole day. I did some laundry, and I worked on that Apple. Thankfully I have a Mac, and I plugged the iPad in. I downloaded, I updated all my software, and then it rebooted that iPad. And I want the iPad for my teleprompter. I'm not going to use it for anything but my teleprompter. I want to make instructional videos, but then I don't want to look like I'm rambling on. I want to have concise points that I'm speaking about, and I want to be able to look straight into the camera and look professional. That's part of making good videos. I mean, you have to have the right tools. So I'm putting together my teleprompter, and I'm thinking like, oh man, you putting the phone in, because it's yeah, I mean not the phone. You got to put the camera in a sleeve, put the sleeve, and then you have to look on that side, make sure if I sit on this side that you could still, I could still, I'm still on the same plane as that camera, and then I see the words rotating, and I'm reading them. But I noticed like, oh, I have a Rode speaker that I put on top of I have a ZVE10, and I had a Rode speaker that sits right on the top of it, and it was hard to put it in there. And I said, oh man, I got to get another microphone. And I was looking at that, and before I put when I put the camera in the teleprompter, I was trying to get the eye level right. So then I started stacking up boxes, and it's like, okay, this looks right. And I started thinking like, how am I gonna raise this thing up? And I was like, I'll buy a, I just buy a tripod or a stand that puts you put the teleprompter on, and you can raise it. And I said, oh, I started looking on Amazon. And I started saying like, I have a tripod. And I started looking at the teleprompter, and there's this area where you could just screw the teleprompter right onto the tripod, and you could just lift up, lift down, angle it in the way you want. And a microphone, I had a level, those little pins, those little microphones, just kind of like that. You're talking, but I had one in my drawer, and I put it away because I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be using this." How wrong was I? So then I looked at, I had put stuff in my cart on my Amazon cart, and just by me looking at see, we got so much stuff that we forget what we have, and I've bought stuff 2, 3 times because lose it, I forget I get it, I forgot I have it, and it's just like, and then by the time I'm gonna apply it, like, oh, I got to get a new one. So I'm really glad that I just buckled down, put it on there, and I was communicating. I had my compute. I was talking into my teleprompter, and it was great. It was good to have that teleprompter, and it just adds to my uh, technical arsenal as far as producing a better quality video. And I'm also now have started to I'm gonna try to step up my editing game, put a little more emphasis on a more produced video. Not because I need to, it's because I have to. Because the thing is that I do a lot of talking head videos, but I'd like to change that up. I'd like to put more clips of something. I like putting the music in and putting words across the front, maybe a couple explosions. Who knows? But the thing is that you're not going to learn that. You're not going to learn how to do that unless you start doing it. So I have done it. If you've seen some of my videos, you know that I have some kind of production value to them. I put some music in there. I'll put an opener. I'll put a closer. But I'll put a subscribe now. I'm probably gonna do edit this video and put that in there as well. But the thing is that I I'm gonna start putting more content out. Hook or crook, man. Hook or crook. I gotta. I'm gonna jump into the YouTube ocean and I'm gonna learn how to swim. I'm gonna be real aquatic and be able to hold my breath underwater for 10 minutes. That's how good I'm gonna do YouTube. And I'm gonna do it for me. And the thing is that, like I said, back to the issue at hand, like, yeah, I had to give that girl her walking papers because I'm not having it. I'm just not gonna have it. She can kick rocks. It hurts, but she gotta go. She's got to go. I mean, she ruined. I got a litany of things, but this ain't. I'm not making this video a confessional. Maybe down the line I will, but up until now, I just was dealing with a lot of crap from her, and I just drew the line. I says, "I'm out of here. I'm done. I am finished." So yeah, man. Sunday. So I was doing that. I was working on my teleprompter, and I got it together. I put it on the tripod, and I put the camera. I got the other microphone. I mic'd up. I took a test run. I'm not perfect. I still got to learn how to. I still got to practice on there. And so what I'll do is if I want to write a good script, I'll have a premise of what I want to write. I'll do a chat GPT, polish it up. So that when I'm speaking to you, it's concise. I'm reading off the teleprompter, giving you the information, and we're fully engaged. I'm doing that because I want to do that. I'm actually, I want to develop a YouTube course that helps people bridge the gap of starting a channel and learning and knowing what kind of equipment they need. It's going to be a free course, and I might even do a PDF. But it's all part of developing your YouTube presence. It's also some of the strategies you have to employ to to have YouTube just more than a hobby. You have to evolve. Making videos is great, but there has to be an in my world, there has to be something more. There has to be an end result. I have to achieve something. You know, yeah, I'm working to achieve a subscriber base, but I would also like to work to develop a business. Even if it become a micro influencer or provide value by making a course and offering it for free and then developing other products that I can eventually maybe sell to people who I can legitimately help. And I take it for granted that anybody can just jump on YouTube and start making videos, but it's a lot more involved than you start realizing. Like, this is a lot more. There's a lot of information that you need to take into account, from having a microphone to having a camera to having a teleprompter to learning a different. I mean, you literally got to learn editing software if you want to make your videos look decent. Those are just basic things. So part of my journey is to learn how to edit really good, to the point where I can actually teach editing tips and give them away. And the only thing I would ask is become part of the Digital Moxie family. Give me your email, be a subscribe channel. I mean, I don't have a membership for it. I don't even know if I ever will. But the point is that this is all part of my concentration. When you break off from somebody and you're investing in yourself, This is where I'm gonna invest in myself, and I'm gonna just you know what's funny is that you talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people they consume YouTube, but they're not interested in making YouTube videos. They're not interested in putting themselves out there. But the point is that it's the risk. You're putting it all on the table. So like, I'm all in. I'm all in, man. I'm gonna make a relevant video. I'm gonna inform people. I'm gonna educate people, and I'm gonna grow from that. I'm gonna grow on an emotional level. I'm gonna grow on a professional level. And I think that if you're not always trying to improve yourself, you know, you're not stagnant. You got to keep moving. That's like when people retire. They work all these years doing something, getting they have a routine. They get up, they go to work. Then they do it for 40 years, and then they end up retiring, and they slip into these bad habits. They start sleeping all day. They maybe they start drinking, and maybe they just are not mobile anymore, and their body starts tightening up, and they just I mean, that will kill you. I really think that as I get older, I realize like, oh no, you have to have something going on. I'm aiming for my retirement from what I do, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop working. You know, and this is just something that about investing in myself, and this is part of the investment. You know, I like buying gadgets. I like spending money on stuff, and this is me doing that. It's my like I said, it's all my equipment, it's all my art. Even learning how to be a good photographer. I love watching those YouTube videos where they explain lighting and they explain exposure, and I know that I am like totally terrible with that stuff, but hey man, I'm that's the next frontier. I'm gonna start bulking up on those videos, and I'm gonna learn how to be a better photographer. I might even take some classes. So those are the things that I want to do in the upcoming season. There's a season of we're in a season of change. I'm in a season of change. So yeah, I'm gonna concentrate on uh, my camera skills. I'm gonna learn about how to film stuff the right way with camera, as far as still photos, as far as video. Then I'm gonna learn how to edit even better than I mean, I edit okay for basic survival. Yeah, this will get you by videos, but I want to make them even better than that. So back on track. That's what I did early part of the day and all the thinking behind it, or all the random talk or thoughts. My friend called me and said, "Hey man, we're going to Metallica concert." So I was like, I jumped in the shower. I was ready to go. He picked me up. I mean, it's so convenient where I live. I'm only like 30 minutes, 35, 40 minutes from Soldier Field. It's great. We go down 41. We're there. The only problem I had with it is that I had a park. We had a park all the way in at Grant Park, and that's a good like a mile and a half, you know, jaunt. Unless you have a parking pass, you got to go all the way out there, and you got to walk back, and you got to walk there. But when we got out of the garage, they had these little pimped out taxis. Like they're like pedal taxis. These guys rob you blind, man. Yeah, $50 will get you there, or it's $20, $30 a person. I go, are you kidding me? If I get $30, if I pay anybody $40 on an Uber, they could take me halfway around town, and you're only gonna go not even a mile, and you're charging me that much. But I figured, it's my birthday weekend. I'm celebrating. I'm gonna spend a little extra money. I'm gonna treat myself. And you know what? Walking, it's fun, but it's a pain in the ass. And you get excited and say, I gotta go to this concert. So we get into I'm gonna call him a rickshaw because it's a modern day motorized rickshaw. So he gets us there, man. We get there quick. I'm trying to fumble around my camera, trying to make a video of the experience, and then my live is coming out black and white. I'm like, what? Why do I have all these? That's the kind of stuff that bugs me. I'm having all these technical issues when I'm trying to capture good content. Moments of my life that I could share. So I made one video, I put it on YouTube and I got some hits on it and but it's not the length that I wanted it to be. And it's just, just keep trying. Just keep trying. So we get out, we start walking, throngs of people. I might even edit that into this video so you could see it. And along the way, you got people selling water, beer. I was like, beer? Do these street vendors do they have liquor licenses? No, but it's like the cops don't say nothing to these people. And then they're selling, some people are selling hot dogs. And I was like, I don't know who you are. And I don't even know if you're licensed to sell hot dogs. But I know you're selling hot dogs so you can make a living in your world. But if I get poisoned from eating your hot dog, how am I gonna who am I gonna contact? Who am I gonna, you know, look for when I'm puking my brains out? So yeah, I don't buy no food off the street unless I know the person. And even then, if they don't have proper, you know, clean, there's just sanitary laws. People gotta have a certain you're just eating it's like eating out of a damn trough when you buy food off these street vendors, and they're racking up, they're making money because they're going in there, they're in a situation, you're going to this event and you're not set up like that. Those guys are set up there. And oh man, it's a different thing altogether. So we're walking in there and it you feel the excitement. We walk through the gates. They got the new thing is those metal detectors. They just scan your body and they could see stuff in your on your person. And it's not like they don't go off like they do, but if they see something that they want to check out, they ask you to empty out your pockets. And then I was gonna take my video camera, but like I didn't want to take a chance of going all the way there from Grant Park and them telling us like, oh no, you gotta put that in the car, man. You can't have that. So I took my phone and I did get some footage on there. I gotta step up my phone game. I'm gonna probably put a magnification piece on there. Probably step up on my Samsung and because it's gonna be those things are as good as a video camera if you got it hooked up the right way. And I need that if I'm gonna be doing these videos. Another thing I'd like to do more of is the man on the street type of videos where I ask random people questions about like, how'd you grow into Metallica? How'd you do this? Or I actually have a good time talking to people. I think that's an idea that I have as far as implementing it into some of my in my street videos because I'm gonna do a lot more street videos, profile downtown Chicago, profile my journeys all together. So we get in there, man, and we had some awesome seats. They were really great seats. We saw everything. And Metallica puts on a power pack show, a good 2 hour show. They played the classics. They played One. They played Enter Sandman. They played For Whom the Bell Tolls. And out of all those other hits that they played, the one hit that they didn't play, and it kind of ticked me off because I saw it on the set list, was Master of Puppets. Like, come on, are you kidding me? So then at the end of the evening, the lights go on and they're like, hey, thank you, Chicago. Thanks for coming out. And I'm thinking, like, okay, I'm watching, I'm videotaping. I says, they're just putting us on. They're gonna get off stage, it's gonna go dark, and they're gonna come out. Dun, 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 play some Master of Puppets. And I was on the video saying that, and I looked at my friend, I says, they're not gonna play it. They're done. They are really done. So I was kind of like, oh man, now it's over with. You know, I wanted that one song, but it was okay. It was a good concert. I mean, you got to figure Metallica's been around for 41 years. 41 years. There was 8-year-old kids there, kids that weren't even born in the same decade that Metallica was made. In my era, in the 80s, Metallica came to be, NWA, all rap music and all that really came full circle. Dance music, mixing and all that. So yeah, I come from a very rich musical background as far as genres are concerned, and I'm grateful for that. I'm happy that I was able to experience that. So I wanted it. I'm a big poster guy. I collect rock posters, and I went to the booths. I asked for a poster. Oh no, we don't have any. Oh, we don't have any. And I said, "What the? Why don't they have posters? That's an easy win. You're charging an outrageous price from $40 to $50 for a piece of paper that probably cost you 3 cents, and you got all this incredible graphic on there, and it's a killing. It's a money maker." But what I found out is they decided to make a limited run of these posters, and they sold out immediately. They had like a special post edition, like they had a bear on there because it was in Soldier Field, and it was like one of 500, and then the other one was one of 900. So then we get, we leave there. And it's a fiasco to get out of there, and we wanted to get out of the traffic, or we wanted to get out of the flow of people, but you couldn't. We ended up jumping a fence. People, it was like everybody was jumping that fence, and I we just did it, and you can hurt yourself jumping fences, and we did it, and it didn't help us on getting there any faster. So, like I said, even walking out of there, you had the plastic drum kids like playing. To me, I don't tip those kids. I mean, what are you doing? You're a street performer playing a plastic drum. I mean, come on, dude. I I find that to be kind of like annoying, but it's a big thing. I mean, I seen those kind of kids do that stuff in Vegas. They're just street performers trying to get a buck, but it just not it's not for me. It's not for me. It's for them drunk guys. This is for the drunks. When they get out of they get out of the concerts, they're already amped up, drunked out, like kid, and they throw them a tip. That's what that's for. I usually don't get sloshed at a concert. I like to enjoy the experience. So yeah, we're walking. Like I said, they're selling alcohol, and it's like, wow, police don't see nothing in the city. I mean, it's just in the last 5 years, it's like nobody enforces anything anymore. It's crazy. It's like a free for all. And then they were selling hot dogs and wrapped in bacon, and people were just like amassed at this person's makeshift grill. And I was like, I wouldn't buy nothing off the street like that. Guys pissing in bushes. I was like, oh man, it's like humans are like they devolve real quick when chaos when when conditions get bad. It's like it's a free for all, man. So we got through there. So we got to the car, like I said, a 30-40 minute drive. And that's when I investigated the poster situation. And I seen that some people were asking for $350, $400 for this poster. I was like, man, that's a lot of money. So, I went to work the next day. I had to get up early. I was in bed by 1 o'clock. I had to get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So on my break, I started looking at the at the posters because maybe I'll catch a cheap one, $150 poster, $200 poster, and I said, "Hey, you know what? This guy's selling his for 290 bucks plus fees. They do pay in four off PayPal." I said, "I'll just do it." But they did it. It was like immediately like charged me. Like PayPal's like, "Okay, dude, we're gonna just charge you, take it right out of your account." I said, "I'm not paying that." That's a big bite just to give for a piece of paper. So I decided to. I asked for a cancellation of the order, and luckily, the person, because they didn't have to do it, but they did it, and I appreciated it. But then I was still looking on eBay, and they had duplicate posters of the same. I mean, I don't need it to be a collectible because what am I? I like Metallica, but I'm not really into Metallica, uh, collectibles. I just want a poster that has the dates that I was there at that concert, so I kind of document it for myself. So these posters were like for a 24 by 36, they were like $18. I bought one for me. I bought one for my bud, my friend, the one that invited me to the concert because it was my birthday. And I said, "That's it, man. That's cool. Good enough for me." So yeah, man, that's how that goes. Well, this was my late night Digital Moxie weekly review. I'm gonna start one in the beginning of the week, and then maybe I'll when I align it the right way, because I haven't done any kind of podcast on YouTube. I haven't done anything consistent, and like I said, I'm in that season of growth where I'm gonna try to improve every facet of my YouTube, and this is part of it. Is even like I said, if even if nobody listens to my podcast, what I'll do is I'll take this recording, I'll slice it up and put it out as shorts. The thing is, you could always do something with the with your content. You can do something, and you can get hits off of that. Uh, I'm a big fan of Opus AI. They take your clips, they post them. I mean, you download them. Now you put them to YouTube. Now you got somebody ain't gonna sit there and watch your whole video. At least they'll watch a snippet. Sometimes I notice that on these long form videos, you might say something that's pretty good in a 30-minute snippet, and you might get more traction out of that short than you would for the whole video. I'm a big proponent of Opus AI, and another tool I use immediately afterwards. What I'll do is I'll take my video and then I'll take it to Taja AI and I dress up my video, man. I get a better title on there. I put a better description. I put chapters on it. I put an intriguing thumbnail. And the thing is that it's content. I'm trying to get my view hours up. 4,000 hours is a lot, but it's not as much as if you're pumping out, videos and people are watching a short, watching a video, and your watch hours are going up steadily. So yeah, you're not losing there. I mean, if you got a goal and you got and you're going for something, that's how you do it. You put out your content, you get your watch hours up, and along the way, people will subscribe. I mean, if you're putting out good content, people will definitely subscribe. You gotta figure out how you're gonna get 4,000 watch hours, and then you gotta work towards 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, it's a long road. I mean, I've been doing YouTube probably a little more actively now, but I started maybe in February, and I got about 300 watch hours on my videos, and I've increased that total a lot by just in the last 2 3 weeks by intensifying my production. So yeah, I'm in, man. That's what I'm gonna do, and I really hope you enjoy my video. I hope it's bringing you value. Please like, share, and subscribe. I gotta say that because I look at my stats and nobody's leaving me any kind of feedback. Nobody's giving me enough likes. And that's telling me like, dude, you gotta step up your content game. You gotta bring it up to the level, and you gotta ask people, hey, will you please subscribe to my channel if you find this to be of any value? Can you give me a thumbs up? It helps the algorithm find videos like this for you. So they got a whole spiel. And if I'm going to say that, I want to sound like I want to be legitimate when I'm telling you. So you heard me, you heard my legitimate voice a second ago. But other than that, I want to say I got to get up for work tomorrow. This is my Digital Moxie Monday podcast. Thank you for joining and have a good one. And I'll catch you on the other side. I'll catch you on the other side.